me till you got your fill. Then you wanna cry ill will. Really thought you know the deal.
Good morning, I'm Terrell, and we're gonna get going to class. Welcome to today's vlog. Earlier this weekend I was working and I ran into a viewer, Dot, hi, goes to high school in New Orleans, but she's out here in Oahu touring Manoa, and she DM'd me later asking about, finances. A lot of the Instagram DMs I get from people who, came here from YouTube first and then went to my Instagram are about oh, I'm an international student, how do I afford living in Hawaii? How do I afford tuition? What are scholarships I can apply for? Or they're from East Coast. So today's vlog is all gonna be about how do I afford to live in Hawaii? And plot twist, no one can really afford to live here. We're gonna talk about the first thing, tuition, as we are driving to school. So I have residency in California, which is under something called the WUE, W-U-E, Western Undergraduate Exchange. It's not an exchange program though. I'm here for the full 4 years, not a semester a year. Because of that, my tuition is half the price of full out-of-state tuition, which is amazing because I didn't qualify for the FAFSA. FAFSA is financial aid. The tricky thing about Hawaii with financial aid is that financial aid will only cover for the classes that are in your plan, in your registered classes for your major. So if you're trying to double major and you haven't been able to declare it yet, you'd be paying full price for those classes. No financial aid would cover that. And you might be like, well, just declare your second major or your first major immediately. You can't do that in Hawaii. As someone who is trying to declare 3 majors, yeah, 3, I have so much time here. If I was on financial aid, this would be a problem. I have a ton of classes that are listed as not in plan or wouldn't be covered by financial aid because I can't declare a second or third major until I have taken 2 classes that are requirements for that major. That's how it works in the business school. I'm sure that's how it works in the rest of campus too, but for Shiler, that's how it works. Technically, I'm still a double major, but next spring I can declare my 3rd major because I'll be taking 2 entrepreneurship classes. And everything is slow in Hawaii. It takes a full semester for after you turn your paperwork for them to figure it out and actually put it in online that you have a 3rd major or a 2nd major. There are a lot of scholarships that your own high school just offers. My high school does that. Once you're a registered student at UH, we have something called STAR. You use it to register for your classes, book advising appointments, everything. You can also apply for scholarships. There's a whole scholarships page on the website, and that's what a lot of students use once those scholarships go live. I had a DAP scholarship. DAP is direct admit program for the business school. They take 80 freshmen every year. But that scholarship basically covers DAP fees. It's very, very small. I'm running a little bit late. If I don't get out of my car in 5 minutes, I'm going to be running to class. And I'm in a little mini skirt. I cannot afford to be running that fast. Okay, I'll talk to y'all later. I just finished my first class of the day, chilling out here at Hawaii Hall. Got a bit early because it's Thanksgiving week and he has to go pack for his flight, so professor is relatable right now. One of the things I want to talk about was jobs. So we do a work study here in Hawaii and at UH. Siki is another place that a lot of students use to find on-campus jobs. Honestly, around these buildings there's flyers for jobs and internships, and your professors will send out some in Laulima too. Those I think are better than the ones you can find on Siki. But the pros of an on-campus job is that they understand when your finals are, when your midterms are, and they're more likely to give you time off or to be more flexible with your schedule around those dates for studying. Now, I have a job. I used it for 3 college credit for a Business 395I class, and I get paid by the hour. and I'm a Red Bull student marketeer. I found my job chilling at a coffee shop called Coffee Talk here in Kaimuki, and my boss overheard it and found me. That's how I found mine, and it's super great. Our team in Hawaii, it's 4 UH students. I think we're going to 5 UH students and 1 HPU student. Having a part-time job while attending UH is really manageable because UH is not a it's not your typical SEC college experience. It's a commuter school, so a lot of students do have jobs, and you don't feel like you're missing out on like social aspects that are happening within school, like going to the football games or anything, because that's just not like a big part of the culture at this school. I love my job. A lot of girls out here just do like bikini modeling, so it's a basic stereotype, but it's a very true stereotype that pays a little bit of money, not as much as like maybe a part-time job would. We're gonna start heading to my second class, but if we're tallying my expenses for the day, I bought a tea, green tea. The coffee shop by the business school is way cheaper than the Starbucks here on campus. Okay. Mwah. We're still waiting for my class, but we're gonna talk about the third thing because I walked from the business school to campus center to my second class. This is the only class I have that's not in the business school, even though it is a business 315 class. Whatever. In campus center, we have 3 ATMs. They just installed a new one for American Savings Bank, but originally there's only 2, First Hawaiian and Bank of Hawaii. One of the first things I did after getting out of quarantine here in Hawaii, my freshman year, was get a Bank of Hawaii account. As a mainland student, I have a bank account with Chase. I still have one. They don't have Chase, any of your local like hometown banks, Bank of America, they don't have any of that here in Hawaii. An expense was getting a new bank account. It's super worth it because I don't pay ATM fees now to withdraw cash, and I need cash for everywhere. North Shore, you always need cash. A lot of places, just like local places out here, and there's a ton of local places for foods, clothing, whatever. They don't do the credit card surcharge, and so it's cash only. Having a Bank of Hawaii card does save me money. Just got out of my last class for today. I'm currently in the Zone 20 lot. It's the commuter lot for students and faculty. Let's talk about parking in cars. So my car, I shipped it from California to here. That wasn't too expensive. That was a couple $1,000. Registering it from a California plate to Hawaii plate was expensive because here in Hawaii they register cars by weight, so the bigger your car is, the more expensive it is to register it. Mine was like $600 to get a Hawaii plate on it. The safety checks are $25 each. I had to fail one and then get a passable one because of the way of the process it takes to get a Hawaii plate. It's a lot. So you have to do the safety checks every year, so they're $20 every year. I do the registration and renew it every year. And then in Hawaii, you have to have a Hawaii insurance. So even though I have AAA, and I have AAA here in Hawaii and in California, I had to switch my plan to a Hawaii AAA plan. And that is more expensive than the same plan I had in California. Now, parking passes here in Zone 20, I pay a couple hundred every semester to park here, and there's only 1,200 spots. So a lot of students don't get a parking pass by the semester. I actually don't have one for next semester in spring because they sold out on the first day, and you buy a parking pass based on your class standing. I don't get to buy a parking pass. I'm not eligible to until day 2 because I'm a junior, not a senior. You can pay like $5 every day to park here if you don't have a parking pass. They also have visitor green stalls that you can pay at to park in, but that is like $3 every half hour, so it is very costly. When I was living in the dorms, I had a Zone 8 pass. Each zone is just for a different parking garage or parking lot within campus. Zone 8 is closest to the student dorms. That was like $150 a semester. But it's for student housing residents only, so it didn't sell out as fast usually. Where I live in Halimahana, down the street from campus, so it's off campus now, I pay a couple hundred per month to park. But I do have security within the building. They are there from the hours of like 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. watching all the cars coming in and out of the garage. It's also covered parking, so I've noticed my car's been getting less sun bleached since living there this past summer, which is really nice, but still is expensive. And then finally, gas. Gas is $4.59 right now at Costco for like 83. That's cheaper than California. Gas is always cheaper here than California for some reason. I compare things to California because that's where I used to live. It still is expensive here, so a lot of students have mopeds. They use less gas. They're easy to get to work, get to class, get to home. However, you can't go on a freeway or a highway with them, so you are limited in how far you can travel on island just by streets. A lot of colleges have not paid parking, like free parking for students. When you are touring colleges on those tours, ask your tour guide, do students get free parking? Because otherwise it's going to be the most expensive thing. So, just got back to Mahalo. I mean it when I say my apartment is down the street from campus. Literally, the business school is right up there. That dome building is the stadium, the Stan Sheriff, where we have our volleyball games. I can see my old dorm Fair Hall from here. But let's talk about rent. So like the dorms, they're the most affordable option of living in Hawaii. I lived in Fair Hall, which is the most expensive dorm to live in, but I lived in suite style, so I had my own room. Similar to this, I have my own room despite also having roommates. I think if I had to share like a room with someone, I would have gone crazy because I love alone time. The art of being alone is something I have mastered, especially in the last year of being single. So it feels good. It feels good to have alone time. So the dorms were affordable. The issue is the meal plans were not good for what I needed, and maggots found in the rice, a bunch of other issues. My dorm was the only one with AC. The other ones don't have AC. They're also just like a little bit run down. One of the dorms, Gateway. My sorority sister lives on the 10th floor and has to use the stairs for a whole month because that's when the elevators get fixed finally, in a month. That's a big complaint from students, that the dorms are run down, don't have AC, they aren't, and I get what they mean. It's kind of like part of the experience of like being a freshman. Don't suffer alone, suffer together. There's a certain camaraderie that's built when you survive living in a dorm together. It's like part of the college experience. Where I live in Mahalo, I have 3 roommates. We have a kitchen, 2 bathrooms. I pay $13.75 in rent per month. It's a lot. There are much cheaper options, much cheaper apartment buildings, but this has a lot of amenities. There's a gym that I go to every morning. They do social events for students, such as ice cream bars. They're hosting a Thanksgiving for students that don't have a Thanksgiving family to go to. And it's safe because there's always security around here. This is definitely like the gentrified building within this area, because when you step off campus, it looks a little bit rough, in this Macaulay area, as far as like the homeless around and stuff. This is the gentrified building. This is definitely the building where it's like, yeah, she's paying $13.75 and still has 3 other roommates. I will say my biggest expense is toilet paper here. My roommate, okay, so we have 2 bathrooms. I share one with only one other person. She goes through toilet paper so fast. She's on a keto diet, and dude, she goes through like a roll a day with this keto diet. Eat a carb. Is the weight loss worth it for this torture? Like, how much constipation are you willing to go through for this? But I guess the thing, I don't know, man. I wouldn't do that to me, clearly. Holding on to all of my weight. I kind of want to go to the beach because I work an insane amount later this week. And if I do my group projects tonight, and if I don't go out for Taco Tuesday, I can afford to go to the beach right now. Okay, I heavily changed outfits because I looked at the weather. There is a wind advisory warning from the state, so not going to the beach because the beach is hella windy. And I also just started my period, so I threw on black jeans. And then I said, oh, my pink top doesn't go that great with all this white threading, I've completely changed outfits. But you know what? My nails are still the same as the earlier clips, so you know that it's the same day. Continuity. Look at the nails. We're gonna go get food and study instead of going to the beach like a good student. Right now, I'm here at the mall. This mall has one of my preferred grocery stores, which is Foodland Farms. We have Foodland and Foodland Farms on Island. The reason I prefer Foodland Farms over Foodland is because they don't flash freeze their poke. Poke's good at all Foodlands anyways, but here it's like just a little bit more special. Plus they have salad bowls for their poke bowls, not just rice. Foodland is one of the more affordable grocery stores on Island. We have Whole Foods, we have Costco's, which I have to go to later today to pick up a pumpkin and pecan pie for Thanksgiving. We have Safeways. But having a Foodland and Foodland membership is super awesome. I actually have enough Foodland points in the years I've lived here to rack up a lot. You go online and you pick out what rewards you want with your little points. It's kind of the way that Sephora points work, where it's a point for every $1. So poke by the pound is what Foodland is most known for. It's super cheap. This is probably the most affordable poke you can buy in Oahu. But when I want like an easy lunch, it's got greens, it's on a salad bowl, it's fish, it's fresh, it's cold, it's gonna make me feel good. I think cold foods on a kind of rainy, gloomy day is perfect. I also picked up some Snyders. I've been watching this YouTuber called Miles in Transit recently. He does like travel content, except he doesn't like review like airplane pods like seats like Casey Neistat. He reviews like the Amtrak or the BART, which I think is so funny. He always picks up a bag of these in his vlogs. I was craving them. And probably one of the more expensive food things that cost here is produce. It all has to be shipped here. I was so lucky in California, where I live specifically in Pleasanton, is where the Safeway distribution center is. And so all of my produce is like coming straight from my hometown. Out here, it's gotta go like 2,500 miles. So while back home, strawberries would be like $5.99. Out here, it's like $9.99. So that's the downside. You find enough local places and you find enough cash only places where you can make food work, but it still is difficult. And food is my biggest expense next to tuition and rent. One thing that I'll never get over is how much a Red Bull costs. Whenever I go out and I order like a Red Bull, give me the can, it's like $6 to $8. And here it's like 2 for $6, so I mean, yeah, $3 a can. I have such unlimited access to Red Bull. It amazes me how much Red Bull costs. Even if you buy a case at Costco, they're like $34. I'm not aware at all of like how much a Red Bull costs. So when I do see them for sale, like on a menu or in a grocery store like this, I am shocked, always. Okay, so I left Island Brew after doing like 10 minutes of work for all of my group projects I have to do, because I just couldn't focus. So I was like, okay, let me go to Costco, let me get the pecan and pumpkin pie that I gotta get for Thanksgiving, get those in the fridge, done. I am the queen of Costco and got a hella good parking spot. It also took like 8 minutes to go and find one. When I think of major cities within the US, I think LA, New York, Miami. LA, it's people, clout chasers. That's what I think of. When you go to a house party, everyone's like, what do you do? What's your social account following? When I think of New York, I think of, okay, in order to, you know, have a name there, you have to have like a good family name. And then when I think of Miami, it's very much like, it doesn't matter what your family name is, if you're old money. It doesn't matter what your following is. Do you have money right now? If you try to throw Honolulu into that and think of, okay, what superficial things do you need in order to have a good time here and to have a status and a network here? Money isn't a big thing, but in Hawaii, there's a lot of name droppers. Networking to say, you know, oh, I know this person in real life. People that move here from the mainland that are like that. People have lived here and they're like, my neighbors, you know, the guy who won Pipe Masters last year. I ran to someone like that, actually. And he was like, yeah, no, that's my neighbor, like, next door. And, like, family friends. Like, I was the person who brought up Pipe Masters. She was the one just like, oh yeah, I think, like, the guy who won, that's my neighbor. And he grew up here. So, like, it was very casual in the way he brought it, and he was, like, very genuine about it, too. I'm using my blinker. Do you hear that? This is me losing the Californian driver in me. I'm, like, becoming a better driver here. But take that conversation, and let's say someone like me from California was having that conversation with someone out here. You know, I actually met the person who won last year. Yeah, I actually live near them. That's such a bad stereotype. My vocal fry isn't that bad. Okay, it sounded bad right there. Money does play a part in your status here in Hawaii, but it's not the biggest thing. I want to talk about one last thing in this video before I enjoy the rest of my night, because I think I've decided I'm going to go out tonight. If I can finish my errands by 4 o'clock, do homework until 8 o'clock, go. Also, going out in Hawaii is expensive, unless you're a girl and you're trying to get things for free. And even then, do not take advantage of that. Oftentimes, I overhear girls in bars being like, oh my god, you're gonna buy me a drink? And then they order the most tequila, or they order the most expensive tequila in the world. And I was like, okay. Do not be taking advantage of people's, like, kindness like that, no matter how much you hate heterosexual men. Order what you would normally order and thank them. I've also never paid a cover charge in my life. That's just pretty privileged. Let's talk about student discounts and Kama'aina discounts. Kama'aina, person of the land in Hawaii, is your local discount. If you're local, you get a discount at certain places that offer one. Students with a little University of Hawaii card also get a discount at certain places. Here are some of my favorites as we're driving to Chinatown. Moku, Ryan there, super understanding of students. He understands if you're maybe late with a payment because you're in college, like you're busy, you barely have time for a job, you barely have time for class. He'll do like promissory notes if you can't pay. But students also get a discount on surfboard rentals. Second place I love to go is Kokua Market. Local, organic, pretty cheap grocery store right down the street from campus. And they offer a student discount. I don't even show my student card. They just say, you look young. Here's a discount. Third, hotels. Certain hotels in Waikiki offer student discounts. My favorites are Queen Kapiolani and the Aqua Palms Waikiki. Queen Kapiolani has a pool. Do with that information you will. Gyms are so expensive here in Hawaii, and that's because there's only like 3 of them. So use your student resources. Go to the gym on campus for free. It's honestly nicer than the 24-hour fitness gyms here on campus because it's the only gym on island that has more than like 2 squat racks. So use the gym on campus. It's free. Bus passes. Students can ride the bus for free all semester long. During summer, you have to pay a little bit. That may be the end of this vlog because I'm gonna go buy more tampons, do my homework, and we buy one little piece of clothing from Aritzia because they already started their Black Friday sale, and my grandbig. I believe that buying things will heal something within me. Rarely do I buy things because I actually like the item. I buy it because I hate my ex. And clothing gives me self-esteem. Well, that's a tough truth that would really, if I unpacked it, would fit into this video, but also, like, we're not gonna do that. So, thank you guys for watching. Wait, I'm gonna do this outro when I park. Thank you guys so much for watching today's vlog. I hope it was informative. I don't imagine it was that exciting, to be honest. This is just something that I get asked a lot online and in real life, and I wanted to share that with you guys. Mwah!